We are live.
Excellent. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 27th episode of the Untamed Rant. I am the Untamed Scribe, and as always, with me is Patient Zero, Mr. Crowley.
Patient Zero, what?
You're welcome.
If anything, I would cause Patient Zero to be Patient Zero.
So, is that your way of saying hello?
Yeah. You're welcome for the apocalypse.
So in this episode, we're going to be talking about zombies.
Yes.
Or, as some of our friends like to say, zambies. Shout out to Aaron Crowley. Just saying. Yeah, zombies it is. So
Zombies.
Yes. How would you like to get started on this one?
Oh,
Sarah?
heck, I don't know.
Heck, I don't know.
There's so many places we could get started. We could get started with... Everyone knows what zombies are.
I mean, I would assume, yes. That is us assuming, yes.
Well, I mean, come on. It's the zeitgeist of the day, if you don't... Although,
Yes.
Although, I guess...
It's very integrated into our culture.
Yeah, I'm surprised, there isn't
Because
more...
Even Disney has made a zombies movie, so...
Well, you know. I feel like AI and stuff should be scary again, or still, but zombies just keep coming back. I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Not gonna get...
You're doing great.
You're not gonna dive into a political discourse, but with the state of vaccinations and disease in our country and the world at large, I'm actually not surprised, now that I think about it, that zombies are still a big fear factor.
Yeah. And also, there's some really great movies for zombies. Dawn of the Dead and World War Z. I haven't seen, but at least the book I know was good.
The book was so good. I haven't seen the movie yet either. I don't want to be disappointed.
Yeah. There's also some fun ones for zombies, like
there's so
Warm
many.
Bodies was funny, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies was good. Abraham Lincoln's Zombie Killer, I never saw, but I heard was awesome.
No. He killed
No?
vampires.
Oh, vampires! I'm sorry.
That's a different undead.
See, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I just remember the axe and chopping heads.
Yeah,
that makes more
it was
sense for
vampires.
Yeah. See, never saw it though.
What else we got? Zombieland.
Yeah.
I Am Legend is technically a zombie movie,
Zombie.
although arguably vampire movie.
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead. The 28 days and 20...
Shaun of the Dead.
28 days later, 28 weeks later. Resident Evil movies,
awesome.
of course.
Mm-hmm. Zombieland was one of my favorites, though. Going back to that real quick. Loved it.
Of course, you got Evil Dead, Army of Darkness. What else we got here?
Yeah.
I haven't watched Dead Snow still, but I'm pretty sure that's not in English, and that's one of the reasons. Because you gotta... I like watching movies and doing something else at the same time. You can't do that with a movie you have to read, so... I've not found the time to watch that yet.
True.
What else we got? There's so many. There's just a lot of standard.
That's just one aspect of zombies into our culture. There's totally a ton more than that, like books and the girl with all. I haven't seen the movie adaptation of it, but The Girl with All the Gifts, awesome book. Didn't actually know it was about zombies, but it actually is really cool too, Crowley. I think you'd enjoy it. It's about how instead of a virus or something that from vaccines or whatever, it's actually from plants and stuff. It's really cool. You got to read it. It's awesome.
That is cool.
They made a movie adaptation about it, and I haven't gotten to see it yet, but the book was really cool. It was awesome. So.
Oh,
definitely recommend.
Speaking of plants,
zombie plants? Is that what you're gonna say?
No, the video game that's really popular, but it's only on PlayStation, so I haven't actually played it before. It's got the fungus zombie things.
Are you talking about Zombies vs. Plants?
No.
Oh, okay. I have no idea.
No, it's a AAA game. It's
even a little kid's game. There you go.
God damn it. The sequel's not even out yet, I don't think. But it's God. I'm gonna remember it in 2 hours. Whatever. Someone can yell at me about what game I'm talking about.
I'm sure they're doing it now.
They're clickers. The clickers are the fungus. Fungus. Zombie.
Can't help you.
Clicker.
Zombie clicker.
The Last of Us.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah. The Last of Us. Yep.
See? Google knew what I was talking about.
Google. Great resource. Thanks, Google. Yeah, something else when talking about zombies that I definitely feel like we should. There's just such a variety of them.
Oh.
Like even the pictures you've got up, it's.
Oh yeah, so these are just like these are just like different pictures and different things being zombies. I like that one. There's also this fungus ant zombie that's really cool. But I did pull this up because there are so many different zombies. Our zombies are different. So if you read this, you can, whoever is watching this, especially in the future where you can pause it, zombies are basically, we're not always undead. That's actually very recent. Zombies is this, this concept from traditional voodoo. Voodoo, or what is it? I don't remember how to spell it. Mm-hmm. Voodoo is not the appropriate word. There's so many different religions that cultural media voodoo is attributed to. But the zombies we know them are more like ghouls from classic mythology, eating the dead. That's why even in D&D, like, we have zombies which just walk around, but like ghouls are the one that eat flesh. But in all our movies, it's the zombies that go for brains and flesh.
Right.
But so those original ones were just like, either mostly purposefully by various witch doctors or shamans or whatever the appropriate term is for the appropriate thing. But tetrodotoxin from pufferfish and used in the right amounts kind of makes you a zombie. Like, with like super precise amounts, you can virtually be dead. Like, modern medicine could tell you are alive, but like your pulse would go so slow and your breathing so light that you might not pass for living with the right amount of tetrodotoxin. Of course, too much will absolutely kill you.
Right.
But when Night of the Living Dead came out in, where is it here? 68, that he used zombie. And that was like the start of zombies becoming what we think of as zombies today, as undead creatures. And totally. The TV tropes page has a bunch of the basic different zombies. I'm sure if we clicked on each of these, there would be like subsets of these. But you got like the artificial zombie. That's a flesh golem in D&D, of course. Mm-hmm. Attractive zombie, of course, that's its own subtrope. But like,
why wouldn't it be? Crowley, come on now, get with it.
But like, possessed dead bodies. You got the ones that return for some reason. You got the ones that are actually still alive. You got plague, virus, and then there's also different types within that. Like 28 days and 28 weeks later I call them rage zombies. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it's a virus in that series.
Yeah, they're only ever referred to in that as infected. They never actually say, zombies.
But really?
Like that, they're just referred to as the infected.
And I think those are technically also living zombies because they don't die. They get infected and then they become these just rage-tastic murder machines.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're basically zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah, or parasite, plant, like you said, fungus. Like, there's so many ways. I think fungus is what's going to do it. If we get zombies in real life, it's going to be fungus.
Yep.
Because they already do it to bugs.
Yeah, that's
it's
not
creepy.
Untrue.
It's creepy.
Yeah, something like if you just like kind of do a search, and I kind of did a
What
little
is
bit of
this?
searching beforehand, but Newsweek did an article a few years ago, the social significance of zombies, just getting back to what you were mentioning about like, all these fears, like, well, most people, to quote this, it says, at a time when the average person doesn't know what to fear most: terrorism, global warming, pandemics like cholera, economic collapse, random gun violence, rogue nuclear weapons. Like, zombies are the monster du jour because it encompasses all of those things.
Well, yeah, I mean
You
that's
know?
it's the zeitgeist. It's
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
defines the. I mean, it's not zeitgeist doesn't necessarily have to be horror, but horror often picks up on those zeitgeists. But I mean, like back in the 50s, the movie era of the original Godzilla and Gamera and other giant monster movies, them with gigantic ants and Reptilicus. Well, I guess Reptilicus wasn't nuclear based, but there was a lot of monsters that were created from nuclear bombs, and these monsters, all kinds of takes on why the monsters were made and what they were doing, but that was the zeitgeist. Like, what are we doing with this nuclear technology, and what are we doing with this? Like, we got giant monster movies the same way we have zombie movies now.
Exactly. And like, just in relation to that, like, you can find so much information about how our world is probably still, or not our world, but our culture is still so obsessed with this, because even like other articles have come out. One in particular that I've just happened upon was from The Conversation online, and it's basically just a reflection of ourselves, like an endless appetite for zombies because we're looking at ourselves like, this is
Great.
this is what's gonna happen, like, eventually, if we're not careful with what we do within our societies, within our cultures, like, world population wise.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But yeah, so like D&D.
I was gonna say,
to come back to D&D. There's so many zombies.
Yeah, a little bit of it for D&D specifically, but yeah. I just happen to be looking at 4th edition, and they have a couple different zombie types, which is so cool. And I love the artwork. I don't know if you can bring up any of the artwork
from 4E. I think I can easily adjust this search.
Zombie rotter, just a straight up zombie. A grave hound is part of that, which, I mean, that's still in our culture, even for like Resident Evil. They have the dogs that can get infected, birds, stuff like that. Like, that's why I think it's another reason why it's so it has such a variety, you know what I mean? Because
those are whites.
Corruption corpse, Rotwing zombie is in here, Chillborn zombie, Zombie Hulk. No thank you.
Yeah, 4th edition, they're like, I mean, it's very video gamey because, that's just how the how the mechanics were, but they're like, okay, we have stalkers and brutes and artillery now, so like, let's make them, okay, but we can't just be like, oh, it's zombie that flies and zombie that throws things. No, they give them cool names. It's like, but here is the image from the 4th edition monster manual. Well, that's as big as it gets, because that's the Hulk there. He's basically an ogre, and he's bad news.
He reminds me of, if anybody has played Left 4 Dead, which that's probably one of my favorite zombie video games. Left 4 Dead, he reminds me of those big, like, the ones that explode on you, you know what I'm talking about? I forget what they're called in the game, but they're gross and nasty.
They're,
like that. Or no, even the big hulking ones that, like, run real fast towards you and like smash everything in their path.
Left 4 Dead was great for ideas about different kinds of zombies.
Yeah, for real.
Especially
the ones with the tongue and stuff too. So cool.
Yeah, because what are they called? So yeah, you got the boomer here, which vomits on you and causes and explodes when you kill it. So like other Other guys
That's
come.
not the one I meant, though. I'm looking at that picture.
Then you got the hunter. The hunter, like, pounces on you. The smoker grabs you with the tongue. You're thinking of the tank.
The tank, that's what, Yeah, that's what it reminds me of right there. So ridiculous.
And then I don't think I ever played Left 4 Dead 2, but they added some more. But then you got the witch. The witch was the worst.
Yeah.
Like, that's terror.
Oh my god. And her backstory too, like, even, you know, talking about flavoring for D&D and stuff like that, if you, like, her backstory is so sad and tragic. Like, no, that's awful. Awful.
So, I didn't bring out the regular monster manual, but I did bring out Open Grave from 4th edition.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because they have even more zombies. So, like, they added, like, drowned zombie. They added, like, a stealthy zombie called the Skulk. I like the putrescent zombie, because it's kind of like the Boomer, but it's a minion, so it just, like, it explodes when you kill it. Yeah, I mean, it's a minion, so it's one hit dead, and, you know, you just... A lot of those are coming at you, and oh no, they're going so slow. What is gonna happen? Well, they explode. So, there's also a corpse rat swarm, which is fun. Let's see. Yeah, the dread zombie, which just keeps coming back. It has rise again if it's reduced to 0 by an attack that's not fire or radiant. It comes back with 10 hit points at the beginning of its next turn. And that's not fun. Blood Sea Zombie. And then they had this Zombie Throng, which is, like, so 4th edition was also cool in that they did bigger swarms, like, very simply, just because of the way the mechanics worked. So, like, this is a huge swarm of zombies that just grab you and pull you in and crush you. And that's basically all it does, is, like, it's, like, all the swarms, like, attack you if you're in the range, but, like, the whole point of the zombie swarm is that, like, it's hard to escape, and even if you're on the outside, they can, like, surge forward and pull you in. So, terror.
I have, oh, did you have anything else to add on that? I just don't have that book. So
nope, I went through.
I have a 5th edition zombie too, and one of the things that I like about it in D&D is, like, it's not necessarily, like, yes, they can potentially infect others, but to start, usually it's necromantic magic, you know what I mean? Like, it's
just a corpse.
Just wanting its bidding done, and they use, you know, these past, you know, dead warriors or whatever it might be to help them do their bidding, you know what I mean? And and in 5e, they only give 3 examples. So they give a standard zombie, they give an ogre zombie, and they give a beholder zombie. So those are the 3 that they actually give in the book. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm glad they gave the beholder zombie, because, like, ogre zombie is cool, because then you got, if you want to run that game where the threat is undead, you know, skeletons and zombies and stuff, you want that to get harder, but there's a lot of undead that are just really tough.
Yeah.
So ogre zombie is a nice one, because it's tough, but it's not like, I don't know, it's not Wraith, it's not Banshee.
Oh, Jesus.
But I like that they had the beholder zombie, because that's just kind of like, well, you can turn other things into zombies, and you get cool, scary corpse monsters. Because the beholder one, it doesn't have the same eye rays, but it's got a couple zombie eye rays that are a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. I think for this, it does say for the beholder zombie in 5th that there's only 4.
Yeah.
4 eye rays that it has. So instead of, I think, we just talked about it now.
8.
I can't even remember. Is it 8 total?
Yeah.
Still? Okay. Yeah. So it gives you half. I mean, but that makes sense though. You know, it's just been awakened from whatever its death might have been. So maybe there are some of the stocks even missing. You know what I mean? You could flavor it that way if you wanted.
But I mean, I want to see more zombies. I mean, I'm probably gonna create more zombies at some point, like because and it's not too hard. Like it's easy to do like basic zombies. It's harder to make like these beholder zombies where it's like, okay, I want to turn this into a zombie and make its special abilities zombified.
I personally have just had so many characters die that I think it would be really cool to have somebody potentially take one of those characters setting in that current campaign and be like, hey, like maybe there's, you know, for whatever reason, it could, however they want to create and interweave that story, but you know, that character's risen, and then the other characters, including my new one, not that one would know this person, but would have to fight it, and then
that's terrifying for the players.
Isn't it?
You should you can only imagine what I had prepared for Curse of Strahd.
Oh,
with all those dead characters. Randall the vampire and your ghost, and it's gonna be so mean and awful.
But that's such good storytelling, and that's like at its heart, at its core, that's what D&D is to me, you know. And I think for a lot of people that's what it is. It's a group storytelling, so like that's just so cool to like bring that into it, because I mean that is a possibility, you know. Your character dies, it could potentially be an enemy, you know.
And like you can do all kinds of stuff. Like you bring some NPCs in as zombies, and then you can bring in the old PC as like a dreadguard, or like a warlock wraith, or one of the other more powerful undead that's controlling these zombies, and just go to town.
Well, especially if like there was some question about, you know, not that this is, you know, black or white, but some questionable decisions made about alignment. Like, who knows? Maybe a god was like, "Hey, I want you to do my bidding." It's an evil god of some kind, you know. You become that necromancer, and then you're that character is now the one controlling all these things. That's an even bigger story to build off of and everything. So, I just think it's a really cool idea if you get a chance. Not that you want that to happen as a DM, but, you know, it does happen where player characters die.
Sometimes.
I mean, sometimes more than others for some people. But definitely a way to bring in a new element, a new layer of, like, character development and storytelling and everything, too, you know? It's really cool.
Yeah, I'd just like to see more different kinds of zombies.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I'm just doing a basic search. I'm gonna see if I can even find other examples, because I know 3.5 had a good amount. It's like, this looks like a troll zombie, but like, can you even make a troll zombie? Trolls regenerate, or they're burnt. Like,
that one says goblin though for that, but I get what you're saying in terms of troll. Yeah, for sure. Something else that I think that a lot of people for
here we go.
Like, kind of disregard is the fact that, like, think about all of the, like, the culture out there exists, you know? Exactly, like that. Think about different types of zombies that you've seen in movies even. Like, some zombies shamble at you. Some of them are fast as fuck.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, add that as an element if you wanted to, you know? Like, oh, we now have to literally just run for our lives. Like, they will swarm us. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, those are cool examples of other types of zombies for sure. Yeah, that'd be terrifying. Oh, no.
Square Enix. I wonder what game this is from. Probably one of the Final Fantasies.
Could be.
But yeah, like,
that looks so cool though. That's badass.
Yeah, zombies are just They're fun. But I mean, like, yeah, you could think of, like, all the different kinds, because even the original Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead, that Romero set, they were slow.
Yep.
But they, like, the scare, and it's hard to recognize how terrifying that was back then, because, like, it doesn't feel scary anymore watching that movie. But, like, they were, like, that was, like, the first, or at least one of the first, like, here's a zombie. Like, here are corpses climbing out of the ground, and they're walking at you, and they're not stopping. And, you know, the power goes out, and the TV goes out, and the radio station dies, and where is everybody? And, like, okay, we're in this house. Now what do we do? Oh, you got bit and now you're turning into a zombie? Or, like, now you like, panic. Like, just, you panic.
The other thing with that, too, is, in you know, D&D campaign, like, oh, you guys, like, however, what is it? Let's just see real quick, because I want to say it's a half CR rating. Let me just double check it real quick.
What, the base zombie?
Yeah, I think it's
it's half.
Is it?
Yeah, I think the ogre's 2.
Let's see. Yeah, ogre was 2. I know that one. I think the beholder is 5. Let's see. Oh no, it's not even that. It's not even a half. It's a quarter. Zombie's a quarter CR rating, and then ogre zombie, yep, 2, and then beholder is 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously you can change those how you want to, but, like, you know, it's a quarter challenge rating. Let's say you've got a couple level 2 characters that just made it to this new town, and, like, maybe there's some necrotic influence or something they have to, you know, figure out, but all of a sudden, you know, people from the church or whatever, and all these things are coming up out of the ground. Like, okay, guys, what do you do?
Oh, no. You can get even better. Like, they could be, like, level 5 or 6, right? Like, right at that point where, like, they really start slowing down on leveling, but they've done a good amount of stuff.
True, yeah.
Maybe they haven't fought zombies yet, because, like, I mean, like, we're playing Lost Mines of Phandelver, and I don't like, it's been all, like, goblins and hobgoblins and that kind of thing. So, no zombies, but we're about to hit level 5. But I mean, I can imagine just, like, you're going through, and then you're going to one of the small villages on the Tribor Trail, and it's nighttime, and, like, no one's around. But you're level 5, so, you know, like, alright, let's help out. But then you get zombies. And then, like, there's one person, and 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, like, people from the road, like, just people wandering to where you are because you're living flesh or whatever. And, like, cool, we're level 5, but we blew a couple things clearing out these zombies, and now there's 200 outside. Like, what do we do?
Yeah. Are you guys good at jumping from building to building? No,
right? Or like they, like, finally do something, and there's still, like, 25 of them that they have to fight. Like, even at level 5, 25 zombies is terror. Yeah. Because there's just, the numbers aren't with you. You might lose because of attrition. Like, eventually they're gonna wear you down, especially when you see them come back up after falling. Like, is it dead yet? Did we kill it? Like, make sure that one stays down, and you're like, I don't have any spells left. Like, you could really make, like, a little powerful, cocky team terrified very quickly with just by a little more zombies, few more zombies, just like.
Oh yeah, I can't.
Like, it doesn't have to be crazy. They don't need pack tactics. Like, that makes kobolds scary. They just have to keep coming.
Yeah, just wear you down after time. You know.
Yeah.
Ugh. awful. And I'm looking a little bit closer at the 3 that they have in 5e now, just because we were talking about it. And the only one, which is kind of odd to me, but I guess maybe not, but the only one of these that it actually gives a bite as an action is the beholder zombie. The regular zombie is just a slam attack. Like it doesn't have anything other than that, you know?
Well, that's what I was saying before.
And the ogre gets Morningstar because obviously, like as an ogre past warrior, it's they usually have a weapon technically, like a club or whatever.
A fucking tree.
Yeah.
But that's what I was saying before is like media zombies are like the only place where there's no differentiation between zombie and ghoul.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like D&D zombies are they're just The Walking Dead. Just like the original Night of the Living Dead. They didn't really try to eat you. Like that wasn't the point.
Yeah.
Like it became a thing.
Yeah.
As far as I remember, like that was not like a plot point for that movie. Like I think someone because in the house in that original movie, like a bunch of random people found refuge, but no one trusted each other because they're all desperately trying to survive. It's literally full panic humanity mode or lack of humanity mode. And like someone kills one of the other ones, and that's how a zombie gets into the house. It's not like I don't think it's an infection or anything. It's been a few years since I've watched it.
Wait. Did you say Dawn of the Dead?
No, the original Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I remember that too, yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure in even the original Dawn of the Dead, infection was a major plot point. But in the original first one, it's such a simple movie. Mm-hmm. And it really does zombies so well because they're at a graveyard visiting somebody, and like you can see in the background someone just like shambling.
Yeah.
And you don't know, you just think it's somebody there. Like the first time you see it, like just try to imagine that when you don't know what zombies are. Like you wouldn't know. You'd never think like now being exposed to the concept of zombies so fully, we watch that movie, be like, oh, there's a zombie back there. They're already dead. Like, but back then, it's just like, oh, just a background guy.
Yeah.
You know, like the first 20 zombies you see are just people in the background.
Yes, yeah. And that whole thing, like, I mean, if you think about that movie specifically, like, it only takes place, I think, in the span of like one day and night, I think.
It's literally like a 12 to 16 hour period, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like that same kind of mentality, like in that scenario with like, oh, now all of a sudden there's 200 out here, like you've got some really hard choices to make, like and character wise, like hopefully it all works out, but it might not.
Right? And
especially since you have a group of other people with you who all have varying ideas and like thoughts on like how best to survive.
Well, and that's part of what like gets that first movie is like the zombies aren't super powerful. Like they board up the windows and they board the door up. Yeah, and that's fine. That's perfectly useful against zombies. But like they can't board everything up because they know they need to leave in the morning or at some point. They need to figure out a point at which they can leave.
Yep.
But what do you do? Like you're in a house with like no resources and there's just more and more and you're like, okay, when do we leave? When is it too dangerous to leave? Because we have to leave before then.
Right, yeah.
But
and
how
you wait, less likely your chances of survival.
Right, the more ready you might be, the more ideas you might come up with, but the harder it's going to be to leave.
Right. Oh,
and I think
so good.
Like, and while that's so like obvious and you can spot it so well like with our current exposure to zombies, it's still such the perfect template for like dread in a D&D encounter, because like using that scenario, the adventuring parties, just walking their horses or their cart or themselves down the road to the next town. You can ubiquitously just sneak in farmers or whatever, off to the side. Like, you see a guy, off in the distance, in a field, he's probably working on it. It's not quite too dark out yet. And, you just mention these sites as you're...
Sorry, go ahead.
You just mention them as you're coming in, and it's like, it doesn't mean anything. And it's not visual, so you're not, like it's not visual in the same way. And that's great, because, like, you're just, like, you mention a person, and no one's gonna think to inspect that, like, I'm gonna give him a real hard look. Is he shambling? Like, no one's gonna do that.
Yeah. Especially, like, it's just like, oh, just, off in the new town,
and you can even mention stuff like, oh, it looks like he sees you, but he doesn't wave or anything. And then, and the party might just be like, oh, these guys are gonna be assholes. And you could give them, like, hints like that, but eventually they're gonna hit that point where they're like, oh shit, they've been zombies the whole time. We're so boned. We passed like 40 of them.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I think that, and that'd be such a great game to do on Halloween. I'm just saying.
Yeah, every day can be Halloween if you try hard enough.
Exactly, but like, I'm just thinking, like, oh, even if you just want to do like a one shot, like, oh, what do we got in store? Like, oh yeah, there's some guy, like, and just all of a sudden it's just upon you. Good luck.
Yeah, it's so perfect.
Oh, I love it. Oh man, can you bring up, like, I think
different zombie?
I've got some images on mine, yeah, but like Night of the Living Dead, like how the zombies, like, it's just so cool. Like, I think it's worth just looking at, you know what I mean, as a visual.
And I don't know if Tropes has this right, but I wouldn't be surprised. Apparently there was, where did I read this? There was a mistake in the credits, so Night of the Living Dead is actually in the public domain. Although it might not be... The movie itself might not be in the public domain. Like, they don't really clear it up. But that's one of the reasons there were so many imitation and emulations, was because of, like, it's probably not the movie itself. Mm-hmm. It's probably the concept of zombies in that way.
Right. Yeah.
But, like...
I feel like it was the 1990 version that I watched, and it scared the shit out of me.
The 1990?
Yeah, they redid it. Night of the Living Dead.
1990?
I remember watching this version, and same thing. It starts off with the guy in the just off in the distance, yeah. And that was the version that I watched, and I remember so specifically the scene towards the end of the movie where Barbara like opens up the closet to find, I want to say his name is Henry, that douchebag of a guy who tries to like take over the whole situation or whatever, and like he's clearly turned, and like he's just like but like on the verge of turning, and he's just like, you came back like for me, I'm just, and he's sitting in the bottom of the closet, and she just shoots him. Like, right? Just straight up like pops him in the head, and I was just like, oh my god, like brutal. Like, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, I never saw the 60s version. I
haven't?
I remember watching the 90s version. That's the one that I
you should watch the 60s version at some point. I'm
sure it's utterly terrifying. Like, even the 90s, like, that was terrifying. I want to, how old was I? Was young. I want to say, like, oh god, because my brother watched it, and then like we were all in the living room like watching, and it just terrified the shit out of me. I want to say maybe like
it's on 10, YouTube. 10 the whole original movie.
Oh my god. So anybody watching who hasn't seen it, just like, including myself, take a gander, because
yeah, so gosh. Like, it's...
Does it show him shit like the guy in the back? It's there somewhere, I'm sure of it. Yeah, right there. You see him? Yep. Yep. Boom. So crazy.
Oh, it's so wild. But yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. I remember the 90s one, now that you brought it up too. That's also very good. The original Dawn of the Dead was good too.
I really
have you ever
later on.
Have you ever seen the original Dawn of the Dead?
I don't know if I have. I'd have to give me a cast image. I could tell you more.
I'm trying to find one, but
you could do Dawn of the Dead original cast, and then just do images instead of what you're already on. But that would be. Let's see. No, and I don't remember seeing that one. No. That doesn't look familiar.
Pretty much any of the Romero zombie movies. What was it after Dawn of the Dead? Day of the Dead?
Dead, I think.
No, let's 1985. Yeah. Day of the Dead. And if I remember correctly, don't quote me on it, this is the one where, I'm pretty sure this is the one where this zombie is smart. And things start to take a turn in that world.
Yeah.
And then
so clever though, you know what I mean? Story wise, Romero wise,
Romero
him to change it up like that, you know.
Romero was amazing.
Yeah.
Romero zombie films. There's one I haven't seen. Romero zombies. Can I get a list of movies? There's one that was much more recent. Was it Land of the Dead? 2005 was. I think I've only seen that one once, but there was one that was. Jesus, Diary of the Dead. I don't recall this one. 2010?
I don't know that one. See, there's so much out there. Jeez.
Huh. But yeah. Oh, and then Shaun of the Dead. Gotta love Shaun of the Dead.
I do. I really do. It's so good.
I feel
well done.
Well, it's because Shaun of the Dead is Romero's zombie, but with real people.
Yeah.
Just being idiots, and the people who survive are just lucky.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
So good. Such good writing on that one.
Yeah, it's definitely their best movie, but now I gotta run a zombie game.
Yeah, I hope to be a part of it. Just saying, throwing them out there. So that's. Did you have any others that you wanted to talk about? And did Pathfinder have any zombies?
Pathfinder's got the basic gamut of zombies, and more undead. I didn't find any specific pictures from. I'm pretty sure that one is the Pathfinder zombie. Although, it's hard to.
That one.
Yeah, this one. But of course, there's more. So here's a bugbear zombie from Pathfinder for you.
Yeah, that's dope. See, so cool.
Yeah, gotta love a good zombie.
They take so many different forms. I feel you know what I mean, and flavor wise, you can just make it your own however you want, fast, slow, you know.
In D&D, you can use them all.
Yep. D&D, use them all.
I mean, basically.
New slogan.
Oh, look at this. A gorillan zombie.
Oh, hell no. Hulk smash, I'm out.
Yeah, the four-armed gorilla, also zombie. Have fun with that.
Oh, you guys, now would be a good time to run. Oh, man. Does that have... Wait, go down a little on your screen. Does that have a shark? Is that a shark? What the fuck is
that looks like a were shark. I bet there's a shark zombie. I bet there's a shark zombie movie.
Cool.
Is there a shark zombie movie?
If not, there might be. Coming soon. Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that sad shark.
Yeah. Oh. What does it say here? Like,
Zombie shark, the swimming dead.
Oh, man. Yep, there you go, people. There you go.
Attack of the Shark-Headed Zombie. And you know, the hard thing is, I'm not sure which of these are real and which of these are fake.
Fake. But see, like that's a cool idea that you could you could do for water-based D&D game like
zombie sharks.
Yeah, and there's also there's D&D has sand sharks. What if those become zombified? You know what I mean? Like crazy. They just become
just make everything zombies.
If you really want to go ham on it.
Just everything's zombies. What if we combined Shark Zombie and Five-Headed Shark Attack?
Oh no.
Or Zombie Sharktopus.
Ew. I don't know. Mm-mm.
Also, Saturday night sci-fi movies, great source of inspiration for monsters.
Oh my gosh. That's just ridiculous. Wow,
Yeah.
but I love it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add for our zombie discussion?
I don't think so. I think we covered quite a bit of good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So as of right now, there are no updates currently. We've covered updates in the past couple episodes, so look for those, or if you haven't seen them yet, go back, watch the videos first, which, hey, thanks. But also they have the updates in there too.
Or just check the website.
Yeah, there's that too. There's always available on the website. But that's going to wrap up this episode of the Untamed Rant. Like we mentioned, that website, it's thewanderingalchemist.com. It'll have previous episodes of the rant, our actual play podcast. You can also check out the website for tips, tricks, weekly articles on tabletop gaming and general nerdiness, as well as other updates. So go check that out.
And we really love doing this, and I love making stuff on the website and all this kind of stuff. And if you'd like to help us continue doing this and do it better, please go to patreon.com, search for The Wandering Alchemist. Think about giving us $1, even a month is super, super helpful. And it will give you access it'll give you early access to articles. It will give you access to bonus stuff that the website doesn't get. It'll get you free releases, all kinds of stuff. And it helps. Maybe we'll have webcams.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah, so feel free to contact us directly with questions, comments, or to offer us a spot on your zombie survival team. Just use the contact information located on our website. As always, I'm the Untamed Scribe.
And I am the Wandering Alchemist.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
We will catch you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.